What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. And today we're going over my final big board for the 2023 NFL Draft. It's going to be a top 200 because I want y'all to know or get familiar with as many prospects as possible going into the draft, as we're only 14 days away. It's kind of wild. But I'm going to give you a quick blurb on each of these guys. But go ahead, hit the thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. Helps with the video's algorithm, and I really would appreciate it. Let's go ahead, get into this sucker with McLennan Curtis out of Chattanooga. This dude's largely viewed as a guard, though. Dude's 6'6", 324, 35-inch arms. You'd be like, oh, maybe you could play that guy a tackle. The guy needs to work on his footwork. He's got cement shoes, lead shoes, so the feet drag, so maybe guard probably ends up being where he ends up. Jackson Kirkland, a cat we were familiar with last year. He was largely viewed as maybe an early day 3 prospect in the 2022 draft. Went to the Shrine Bowl, ended up sustaining an ankle injury that required surgery. Used an extra year of eligibility to return to Washington, so he's back here in this draft, and largely still a guard. Still a guard. There were thoughts he could have been a tackle. I remember when I had this cat as a first-round tackle at the beginning of 2022. It was wild times we lived in, or I guess the back end of 2021. Lonnie freaking Phelps is one of my favorite prospects. This is a great edge class. And don't mind me. This is a soothing lollipop for my throat because my voice is going in and out, but if you see me throw this in my mouth, don't mind it. Lonnie Phelps, this dude he was initially a Red Hawks guy. He was Miami, Ohio. Never really got to start, but this dude was uber productive despite that. Transferred to Kansas, had a solid season. You could go look at the Kansas-Texas game, and you see this cat catching Bijan from behind. The motor doesn't stop. This guy has probably the best motor in this whole edge class. If you disagree, I'll point at you and show you a liar. You show me someone with a better motor, you tell me otherwise, I point to you, show you a liar. Matt Landers, very interesting. He was okay at Arkansas, but really, I think it was the Tropical Bowl where I was like, oh, this cat looks really interesting. He only practiced there on Tuesday, or maybe it was the Hula Bowl. I can't remember which, but he only practiced there Tuesday, which I was like, okay, he's going to be at the Shrine or another bowl. And I don't think he appeared at another bowl during the bowl circuit, but tested out really well. 6'4", 200 pounds. A lot to like there about him, but small route tree, not the best. I would say not the most nuanced route runner, but a lot of traits that are like. Tyler Lacey, bit of a tweener at 6'4", 279. Solid production there, though, at Oklahoma State. You got O'Shane Mathis. I love this cat. He had a breakout year at TCU. The following year at TCU didn't do much. And then transferred to Nebraska and was meh. And it was what the heck happened to him? Then he goes to the Shrine Bowl. Insane length. You love the burst. So this is just a really good edge class. So you're going to see great edge talent peppered all through this list. Matter of fact, starting tomorrow, I'm going to be doing I'm going to take each position ranking, and I'm going to give you my guys, my favorite prospect from each round. So running backs, my favorite third round run back, my favorite fourth round run back. I'm going to be giving you my guys. So this is what the thumbnail looks like. So when these pop out, go ahead and support those. So I got running back, I got corner on the way. I'm going to do O-line. So if you support these, I'll continue to do these because you're gonna be getting my guys in the 7th round, and then even my guys that are UDFAs, or at least I deep UDFAs. So be sure to check those out. Let's keep this sucker going with Jared Patterson. Listen, just a solid guy, but meh strength, meh agility. It's kind of meh. He might just be solid depth. Nick Broecker, a guy that played tackle at Ole Miss, moved into guard this year, looked better, or at least he looked he just looked better suited there. He really did. And I got him here at 193. Like, it's not like he had a spectacular season, but a dude probably, he's got good movement skills, probably as outside zone blocking scheme for him. Datavion Wicks, he had an all right Senior Bowl, very solid for Virginia, but largely probably a slot guy at the next level. He also struggled with drops back in 2021, a guy that kind of like lets the ball hit his pads, doesn't really show a ton after like contact, but he does have make you miss ability. Good size too. Sim Richards, man, at the Senior Bowl, they lined this guy up literally like guard, tackle. I think he's got a little flexibility to him in that regard, but man, it's just I'm gonna be straight honest with y'all, man. It's just not a great tackle group. It's not a great offensive line group. I think this is a cat that needs to get better at the point of attack, but like I think he does enough. Like as a tackle, I think it's weird. I feel like he has better movement skills at tackle than he did at guard. But I end up thinking I think he's a tackle. Like this dude, good kick slide. He understands blocking angles and whatnot. He's shown the ability to marry guys. I think he's a developmental guard at the next level. Mekhi Blackman, the corner at USC, good press man guy. One of the older guys in this class, so former Colorado recruit. Aiden O'Connell, man, this dude ain't gun shy. It's just kind of unfortunate that he is the most high reward, high risk quarterback in this class. And then I got a couple of linebackers here. I got Anthony Orji, Jeremy Banks. They both knocked out the combine. Both put on really good, just put up really good numbers. It's going to be interesting because Banks kind of has the character red flags, but those were from like years ago. So it's like if you go and look into Banks, like his whole story is like a redemption story. It's pretty cool. And Orji's just been very solid, just exceptionally solid. Not a lot of ball skill production or like splash plays and coverage from these guys, which is kind of why I have him here. Terrell Smith, good blend of speed, size, and physicality. Another guy that's a press man corner. Terrell Smith is a name I expect a lot of people start talking about in terms of being a sleeper. AJ Finley, phenomenal off-season draft process. Went to, I believe, was it the Shrine or the NFLPA? It was in fact the Shrine. And during one day of practice, he had 3 interceptions. Quality size at 6'2", 202. I think he's one of the better prospects that we really aren't talking about in this class. Trey Dean here. Just kind of feels like your do good box safety. Trevor Reed, very good athleticism. Just kind of like, so I would say up and down play there at Louisville. By the way, Reed, you go like this dude can do a backflip. This man is doing a backflip at how big are you, Reed? 6'4". I believe he passed that 300 threshold. 6'4", 311, doing backflips out of his mind, dude. Out of his mind. Daryl Luter Jr. out of Southern Alabama is one of my is a favorite prospect of mine in this class. I think he's pretty solid. I thought he had a fairly okay showing there at the Senior Bowl. I don't think it was one that like really could push him up boards or anything. I think a midday 3 grade is about right for him, just because he's not a high end athlete, but he's got really good length, and he's a consistent tackler as well. I think he's got a good special teams ability as well. Emil Accor, the NFL really loves this cat because of just the size, profiles well. Could probably get overdrafted. Like if he sneaks into day 2, it wouldn't surprise me. Especially just, again, we're kind of in a offensive line class that's kind of so. Quindell Johnson. This cat's a little bit good at everything, man. He can play the slot. He can play the box. He can play center field. Doesn't have, I think, the best range in the world. He's not really an explosive player, I would say. But a lot of ball skills to his repertoire, if I dare so say myself. But yeah, I mean, you can look. I mean, the explosive skills, like 32.5 in the vert, not that great for a safety. Xavier Hutchinson, a lot of people really love this guy, and I just guess I seem lower on him. I just don't think he's that dynamic of an athlete, so I'm a little lower on him than the consensus. Warren McClellan, tackle out of Georgia. He is just exceptionally solid. There's not one thing you could point to and be like, oh, he's really good in this area, he's really good in that area. He's just pretty darn solid. I think I've seen some people talk about maybe moving him into guard. I think you'd probably stick with him as a good depth tackle in the NFL. But, I mean, at 6'4", 306, you could probably move him to guard if you want to. Cameron Mitchell out of Northwestern was actually an early declaration from Northwestern, which kind of surprised me, but good size, good length. Like, I think he's got a good feel for press, good movement skills. Antonio Mafi, former rugby player, and actually formerly an offensive or defensive lineman, moved over to play guard and was pretty darn good for UCLA, and I could see him developing into a nice player in the NFL. Jalen Redmond, a bit of a tweener. Let's take a look. Where is your size, Redmond? Oh gosh, where do I have? Where's he at? Oh, here he is. 6'2". He got up to 291. I will say that. Like, that's pretty solid. Like, his listed weight, I believe, was in the 70s at Oklahoma, but he's been uber productive, and honestly, I'm kind of interested in to see more of him. As you can see, as you get to hear, Gojo's a little anxious. He is one of the older prospects in this class, and he's also got some medical red flags, as a couple of years ago he was battling blood, or his freshman season he was battling blood clots. Those haven't been an issue since, but I bring that up just so you know it. Henry Toa, the fall from grace. I still feel like I'm lower on him than the consensus, but solid athlete. Didn't test out nearly as athletic as I thought he would, but I think that's fine. You look at the tape, you can see this guy, he's everywhere on the field. It's just really no splash plays in coverage. And he's the type of tackler that'll get in the, like, he's in the block, but he can't seem to find the house. That's the type of tackler he is. He'll get in the vicinity, but he can't find the ball carrier. Jonah Tavai, one of my, I would say I'm a fan of him. 5'10", 283. Listen, he's stout. 5'10", not a great size. You're talking about 0 percentile size for the defensive interior. He just seems, I think he's a cat that's just going to be very, he likes to grind stuff out. He was super productive at San Diego State. He's got that natural leverage, but for the most part, rotation player, depth guy, if we're being honest. Dylan Horton, man, former safety here at TCU. I think initially he was New Mexico? Was it New Mexico State? It was New Mexico. But yeah, no, former safety, still moves like it, but kind of needs more polish as a pass rusher. Juice Scruggs here at a Penn State, very solid center prospect that I don't think gets enough shine, man. I think he's going to be a good, like, early to mid day 3 prospect. Good size, good length, understands his job. He's very sturdy at the point of attack. John Gaines II put his name on the map by his performance at the combine. Outstanding. Like, this guy can move. This guy can move ideally outside zone blocking scheme. However, anchor piss poor. Kenny McIntosh, 169. Nice. Broke my heart. literally broke my heart. Came out, tested like poop, like literally really bad. I'm not trying to over exaggerate here. Like this was a guy I've been pounding the table for 2 years, and he comes out and he runs a 4.62, and I was like, dude, I thought his long speed was way better. And then his agility drills are terrible. Like they're in the lower percentiles. 7.69 in the 3-cone, 4.69 in the shuttle. So it's like, okay, the explosive drill's not that explosive. So it's like, still you want to lean what you saw on tape, but man, he's got return capability. He's probably largely viewed as a kind of a passing down running back. I still think like this dude's super good, super quality. Like I'm not off the Kenny McIntosh boat, but he ain't a day two guy. He just ain't. Jose Ramirez out of Eastern Michigan, man. This dude coming in at 6'2", 252, less than ideal length, sub 33-inch arms, but another dude with a pretty darn good motor, man. It's always running hot, very light-footed, as you could tell by the agility drills, tested very well. That was super productive this past season, 50 pressures, 10 sacks, win rate 21.5. Big fan of Ramirez. Do I think he's a stand-up pass rusher? Probably. Broderick Martin, a guy that has some of the best high-end reps against like good competition, and then just like ghosts. But a dude in this class that is your like a prototypical nose tackle type. Let's pull up his size here real quick, as it is 6'4", 337. 166. Bryce Ford Wheaton. People are going to be like, you're low on him. I'm going to be like, his ball skills suck. They do. Like his hands, bricks for hands. Like he will make some of the like coolest like highlight reel catches, and then the focus drops was like, I always say focus drops are something to get better at, but sometimes like he doesn't look like natural like ball skills. It just doesn't. Like the interception that was bounced off his hands in the opener against Pittsburgh that went for the game sealing touchdown. Not great. A lot of times he lets the ball hit his pads, but he's a wonderful athlete at a great size. Don't mind picking him up and trying to develop him. Jake Hayner, I thought he was the best quarterback at the Senior Bowl, or at least looked like it. Still a Tune guy. It's very close. We'll talk about Tune. He's a couple of picks higher than this. Brandon Daniels, they list him here as an interior player. I think that's good. He's played tackle. He's played guard. I think he's even played a little center in his career there at Utah. He's played all over the place, but I think he ideals or at least projects better as a interior player. For Kim Jarrett, another guy that just has terrible ball skills. Cat that honestly seems more athlete than football player. Like, I'm pretty sure, wasn't he a former 5-star? Let me go check my notes. He was a former 5-star, man. Really, like, got the talent, but he gives me that Anthony Schwartz vibe. Gerard Clark out of Coastal Carolina. If you haven't looked up this guy, look him up. He's a nose tackle, but he's got such great movement skills. Used to play tight end. Go look at his story. This dude, how he has met adversity in his career, whether it was like death, injury, like phenomenal, man. This is a guy you just want on the team because everyone's going to look up to him. He's going to be that leader. He's going to be the heart of the locker room. I'm a huge fan of Gerard Clark, man. Big fan. Eric Gray, another prime scat back in this class. I love what he puts on tape, but the coaches at Oklahoma were worried about how he would test. They were like, listen, he's going to be a better football player than Tester. And then it comes out, okay, 4.62, that's fine, but the explosive drills looked fine. Agility drills were kind of mid, is what it is, but I think he's a good mid-round selection. Keitrell Clark, one of the better slot options on day 3. Out of Louisville, had a very good very good. Was it the Shrine? I really should pull this up. It was in fact the Shrine. But sub-ideal length, sub-ideal size. He's going to be a slot guy only. Brandon Joseph has broken my heart. I had this cat initially as a first rounder after the banger of a 2020 season he had there. Fort Northwestern, I had him as a first in the after like going into the 2021 season. 2021 season was like kind of a letdown. He transfers to Notre Dame, and it's a bit more of the same. Just kind of he's fine, like he's okay, kind of based. It is what it is, and that's just kind of where I'm at with Brandon Joseph. Jason Taylor out of Oklahoma State. I'm actually a big fan of this cat's play. Maybe I'm just a sucker for Oklahoma State corners. I've liked Oklahoma State safeties in the past, but Jason Taylor has been very solid. I think he's going to be a very good box safety in the NFL, which kind of makes you maybe this more mid-round selection or maybe even early day 3 selection, but very, very aggressive, maybe overtly aggressive, which is probably why you play him in the box. But I like his brand of football, man. This guy is mean around the line of scrimmage. Jalen Carter, dude is thin, but I love the after catch ability, soft hands as well. Let's actually check out the drop rate this past season. It was 6.7%. Great. It's fine. I like it. But being 5'11", 172 is going to hurt you. Carter Warren, man, I might actually talk more about him in a future video, so stay tuned for that. But great length. It's been exceptionally solid at Pitt. Was banged up this past season, but in a tackle class that's not all that great. He's probably going to get I think he's going to go a bit higher than this. Clayton Tune was wonderful at Houston. I think he's a guy that throws with a lot of faith in his receivers. He believes his receivers can go out and make a play. He's got a little Taylor Heineke to him, and I like it. All right, I got these two tight ends back to back. Brenton Strange, Davis Allen. I succumbed to peer pressure. Like, I'm seeing Brenton Strange going day 2 stuff. I was like, okay, I gotta move this guy from like a mid-day 3, but it's like I can only move him so much. And I mean, at the end of the day, I just think him and Davis Allen are very good tight end 2s in the NFL. Like, they're solid options at tight end 2. That's how I see him. Marte Mapu. I'm curious to see how the torn pectoral affects him, or at least his draft stock. But this was a dude I loved during the draft process. I loved the NFLPA Bowl. I was like, man, I hope he gets a Senior Bowl invite. He ends up getting a Senior Bowl invite. Looked great. And unfortunately, torn pectoral. Couldn't see how he tested out. Broke my heart, but dude's got good tape. I mean, he's playing at Sacramento State. So, yeah, he looks like the best player on the field. But I'm a big fan. I think they list him here as linebacker. I think he could still make it at safety, but like it really could go either or. He's 6'2", 217. Well, excuse me, 33.5-inch arms, just insane length. All right, Israel Abetakanda. Izzy, listen, guys, I just think he's a speed back that has no real passing game upside. Ball skills aren't that great. On top of that, piss poor in pass pro. I get it. Everyone else and their mom are gonna love him. Listen, people felt that way about Isaiah Spiller last year, and I wasn't that hot on him. Travius Hodges Tomlinson, THT. Listen, size sucks. Sorry, he's probably gonna have to move into the slot. Still a hell of a football player. I don't think he'll get like the Ardarius Washington treatment where he goes UDFA, but I don't know. I have a hard time believing he'll go in day 2. Keaton Mitchell, he is literally just a human joystick. That's what they call it, a joystick, right? Or is it a joystick? I don't know. But he looks like he's out of a video game. He rattles out moves one after another, but he's a scat back. Look at the size. What is it, 5'9", 179, I want to say. 5'8", 179. Ooh, so close. Cam Jones. I kind of think Cam Jones is not that good in passing coverage. Like, he allows a lot of catches. To be fair, he's a guy that'll probably minimize gains there, but don't expect splash plays and coverage. But he's got that nasty to him to be a thumper. Also, linebacker class, not that great. Jacorian Bennett, boy is fast. Kayshon Abute. Listen, the red flags, man, are big. He came in, didn't test explosive, and that was kind of the big thing, man. He had 2 ankle surgeries prior to the season, didn't look nearly explosive during the season, had kind of a letdown season, and then he didn't test out explosive. That's a big red flag. And we're not even talking about the character stuff. So, yeah, I mean, hey, if you end up getting him, I would say early day 3, or maybe if you might end up getting a superstar, a guy that just didn't have a good last season, didn't have a good draft process. I'm hoping it all works out for him. I was a huge fan. He was wide receiver 1 for me, I believe. I think maybe he was 2 or 3. I don't know. I'm not going to look it up. You can look it up. To start the year, though. Ricky Stromberg, I talked about him in my offensive interior rankings. He's strong. He just looks like do good center. Josh Wiley got some bunnies, but I don't think he does much after the catch, and his block, he's still a bit of a question mark as a blocker. Andre Yoshevas played at Princeton, looked really good there. Went to the Senior Bowl and looked solid. I still think he needs to work at being a more crisp route runner, because he's got the speed, like legit speed to separate. So I think if you're looking for maybe a developmental wide receiver 4, 5 right now, like Yoshevas is a great option. Chase Brown, fumbles are a concern. I don't think he's the most dynamic athlete. I think he's got good long field speed, good home run threat, but I just don't think he's that dynamic. I think he's a good committee back. Caillou Blue Kelly, Riley Moss. I basically have them one after another. Wasn't it Mel that said Riley Moss should be a safety? Riley Moss, good long field speed. Caillou Blue Kelly, I think, is a good press or off ball zone player. Like, his best work is anticipating where the quarterback's going to go with the football and his spatial awareness. And I think that was kind of apparent at the Senior Bowl. Riley Moss looked very competitive in the one-on-ones, but I still kind of wonder about the lateral ability. Parker Washington, I love Parker Washington. It's just he is a slot player only, probably, that can maybe create after the catch. I think he plays the football well, but he did also run a bit hot and cold throughout like the last 2 seasons. I know it lists San Jose State as the Michigan State logo, but that ain't it. But they're Trojans. They're Spartans. They're both Spartans, is what it is. But Fehoko, man, is another cat that just grinds out reps. Super powerful. Doesn't really get enough love. I don't think his I think it was pro day or combine numbers, can't remember which, weren't spectacular when it came to explosiveness and agility. So maybe a guy you're looking at that might be like a 7 to 9 tech. Byron Young, a lot of people have him a bit higher than this, and don't worry, I'll address this in a second. This is not that guy. They just didn't have that guy in here. But yeah, Byron Young, like, he's just, I think, a do-good player. Like, I think he's just solid. I think that franchise came out and gave him, like, the Adam Butler comp, which, Dolphins fan, yeah, fine. That's fine, is what it is. I think Young's anchor could be a bit suspect. So at 136 here, this is actually Starlin Thomas. Is it the fifth at a UAB? This dude played for the Blazers, and he's a Blazer himself, dude. This dude flies. I'm a big fan. I'm gonna talk about him in one of my future videos in the next few days. So be on the look for that. But 5'10", 194. It's like, okay, it's all right size, but the dude was super productive. 9 pass breakups. You would love to see some of those forced incompletions or pass breakups turn into interceptions. But he is a dude, not smaller, but he does struggle with physicality. So that might be something that you watch out for. Maybe he gets thrown to the slot because of it. I don't think so. I think he can play on the outside. I'm a fan of him. This dude can marry anybody, I think, in the league. Zach Evans, a lot of talent, just okay production behind it. Kind of a question mark in the passing game. Like, his ability as an athlete should tell you, like, oh yeah, no, this is the guy I want to use as a receiver. It's just wasn't used often in that regard. JL Skinner, honestly, I thought he should have made the transition to linebacker. He shows up at the Senior Bowl, ends up being like 211 instead of like 6'4", 211 instead of being like 220. Like, I honestly should make. I think he should make the transition to linebacker because he's just a box safety, and you're not really taking those type of guys high. Torn pectoral also might hurt his draft stock. Trey Palmer, he flies. Probably a slot guy though. Mainly played out of the slot this past year at Nebraska, though. Former LSU prospect. Let's see. Yep, he was in the slot 71% of the time, or 67% of the time this past year. Also, ball skill issues. Tyler Scott, former running back, probably plays actually vertical threat on the outside. Good build, or like good lower body strength, I should say. And another guy, not the most natural ball skills, but blazing speed. So these are two guys. One I think is a slot. The other I think is an outside player. Noah Sewell, man, the fall is real. The fall is real. Like, this dude just, I don't think he's a guy you could keep on the field right now on passing downs. He's just not that good in coverage. Jaden Reed, good at a lot of things. I do kind of worry about how he handles physicality. Like, his release package at the line is all footwork and trying not to let the receiver get a hand on him, because if he does, it like totally neutralizes everything great about him. Keandre Coburn emerged just this year as a pass rusher. Am I willing to buy into that, or do I just think he is at least a solid nose tackle? I'm willing to bet he's just a solid nose tackle that kind of was a man playing among boys in his final season in college. Nick Hampton, I don't know why they gave Appalachian State the West Virginia logo, but it is what it is. I like Hampton a lot, man. I think he's going to be a good stand-up rusher. I think there's a chance he sneaks into day 2, similar to D'Angelo Malone, who came out of Western Kentucky last year. Jair Brown, another guy that probably profiles as a better slot player, but some people are a bit higher on him. I kind of see him as value brand Jaquan Brisker, which isn't a bad thing. With Brown, though, like, people were like, look at the ball production. It's like, yeah, well, a lot of those were tipped balls or under throws. Like, they were kind of like just given to him. Deuce Vaughn would be so much higher if not for his size, because his size is crap. You're really taking an outlier here if you're hoping he will succeed in the NFL. And I think he will, just in a very limited role, whether it's return man, scat back, but 5'5", 179. The 5'5" part, not great. Mike Morris totally destroyed his draft stock at the combine. He was 6'6", 290, 292 at Michigan, or at least listed at Michigan. Comes to the Senior Bowl, or comes to the combine, and he's 6'5", 275, and then he proceeds to have horrible test numbers. A guy that was, for some people, like a top 50, top 75 prospect. You can't say that after those test numbers. Those are like coming in weighing less and then testing like that ain't it, bruh. It ain't it. Christopher Smith, man, he's a dude that he will not put himself in a bad position, but he is limited in his range, and he's kind of a center fielder. He kind of has that build too, so you kind of wish he would have tested better at 5'10", 192. You kind of wish his test numbers were just a bit better, 4.62. The agility drills were in the lower percentile, so you don't love it. Zach Pickens. I'm a big fan of Pickens. I think his high-end reps are freaking amazing, but he disappears a lot. He gets just kind of like stuck. He needs to find more ways to shed blocks and be involved in the play. On top of that, he needs to get just better recognition of where the ball is in the backfield. Jaquilin Roy, man, a dude that's probably a nose tackle in the NFL or maybe around that area. Mainly played that there at LSU, but largely he was outshined by guys like Mason Smith and Wingo in particular this past season, because Smith went down in the season opener. Owen Popo, freak athlete. Would love to see more splash plays. Also undersized. Was he 6 foot 225? So very undersized. Sean Tucker, I love it. I love him. I'm a mark for him, but not exactly a solid season from him. Like, it was all right, but you started to see it was like, okay, this is a guy that can't really create something from nothing. And he's a one-cut home run threat. That's what he is. This is not Grant Gibson. This is actually Chandler Zavala, except for the Draft Network does not have him. I'm a huge fan of Zavala. I think he's a solid guard prospect in this draft. Kobe Wooden, kind of a tweener. I think he probably profiles best as edge, though, and I like that they listed him here as such, and I probably should move him over to edge. Came in weighing 6'4", 278, and honestly, the numbers he put up were pretty darn solid. He's got almost 34-inch arms. Yeah, this guy probably is an edge. You know what? I think I might move him to edge. I'm not going to move him on my big board. I'm going to keep him here, but I think he's moving to edge. Because I right now have him as an interior. Ronnie Hickman kind of feels like a slot box player, but very good athlete. Also plays with a big motor. Very vocal leader, too. And that's gonna... Guys that were captains or vocal leaders for their teams, those guys, their draft stocks goes up. NFL loves those type of players. Olusegun Oluwada Timmy, small hands, but I love the play from him. Former Virginia player, moved to Michigan to play in the Power 5. Looked really good. He's good at rattling one block after another. Good with combination blocks. Yasir Abdullah, I got him listed as an edge, but he could probably play a little bit in coverage. He did this past year for Louisville. 6'1", 237, so probably does have to play out there. Sub 33-inch arms, but you love the explosiveness. You love the 4.4 740, but probably he's gonna have to play a little bit in coverage, which he did. He did do. I'm not gonna take that away from him. Roshan Johnson, big bruising back. That kind of lacks creativity. Again, he knows one move, and it's lower thy shoulder. Jalen Duncan, solid athlete that needs to show it in pass protection. As a run blocker or a guy that wants to get out in front of screenplays, you see those movement skills. But in actual like drop back pass protection, not great. Especially when he faced better competition. Like, it wasn't like top competition like Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State. Like, it didn't look good. I love Kobe Turner. Big fan. Spent 5 years, I believe, at 4 or 5 years at Richmond, moved to Wake Forest, had a bigger year, plays with a high motor. Big fan. Voorhees would be higher on my list if not for the ACL tear that probably will cost him his rookie season. That's unfortunate. I'm a huge fan. Daniel Scott. You go to my safety rankings. Huge fan, dude. Tested out great. I think he's one of the few true center fielders in this class. Eli Ricks, man. Let's just go to the testing. Listen, this year really had just the Mississippi State game, which was his first game. There in like week 8 or week 7 was phenomenal. Then he followed that up with the LSU game where he got called for a few holding. He just played too handsy, and then you see the agility drill, or you look at the 4.6 40. It's not great for a corner, but the freaking 3-cone was awful. So it's like, what are we looking at, man? A press zone corner probably. Wasn't really able to get on the field at Alabama early after transferring from LSU. 1, because of injury. 2, he was still getting acclimated to the system there. But if I was Ricks, I would have stayed another year there at Alabama. Rashee Rice, I don't have the fullest confidence that he can separate in the NFL. I really don't. So we'll see. I think he might end up being just a good after the catch slot guy. Absolutely freaking love Ivan Pace, man. I'm a huge fan. This guy flies. I know the size isn't ideal in terms of his height and length, but this guy just knows how to get after the passer. Luke Schoonmaker just seems like a low end tight end 1, high end tight end 2 to me. Tyler Steen, I think, can make it at tackle, but might project better at guard. Gravon Dexter needs to get it together. 8% pass rush win rate, not good. It's not good, but this dude has all the tools. KJ Henry had a very good, somewhat of a breakout year there at Clemson. Thank you, Akila, for your input. But dude's powerful. I think he could be a solid part of an NFL rotation. And then we get to like Andre Carter, who's he's got upside, but he's largely a developmental guy. Like, you see the movement skills were pretty crazy for his size, but we knew he was going to lack strength. He didn't test out speedy, which I think it's fine. I mean, get him in an NFL weight room, and honestly, magic could happen, but he's a developmental guy. Keela, come on, I'm trying to record here, girl. DeMarvion Overshown here, and then I mean, for this top 100, I've largely touched up on these players in my prospect rankings, so I'm just going to kind of rattle through them. If you want to look into them more, check out my prospect rankings. Though I think I'm going to touch on Yaya Diaby, because I actually didn't talk about him in my edge rankings. But we got Corey Trice here at 100. Blake Freeland, I know, this is where I have him, and I think we've seen him get second round love. Isn't that wild? Yaya Diaby out of Louisville, and like, I'm really tempted to move him ahead of Zach Harrison. I got him basically one after the other, but guy's got good length. The dude plays with a high motor. He plays twitched up too. He had a very good Senior Bowl, and I largely expect him to go somewhere in the 3rd round. He can play a bit out of control at times, but man, dude, like, the testing times were great. 4.51, the vert a 37. Dude played out of his mind. Was very solid this past season. 36 pressures, 10 sacks. But there's him. There's Zach Harrison. Zach Kuntz. We got here at 96. Tank Bigsby, Jalen Jones. I'm really thinking I'm going to move up Quan Martin. Am I? I really feel like I'm going to move him up. I feel like 93 is too low on him. Am I going to do this in real time? Am I just going to go ahead and move him up? I think I might. Here, let me look at this. Like, if I move him up, like, how much can I really move him up? Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep it there. But we got Wanya Morris. I think I'm higher on him than the consensus. Jamie Robinson out of Florida State at 91. Kendre Miller, Dwayne McBride here back-to-back at 90 and 89. Jonathan Migo, A.T. Perry here back-to-back at 88 and 87. 86, Isaiah McGuire. Oh, they list Moro Ojomo at edge. Oh, I think he's going to be a 3-tech penetrator. Okay. Darius Rush at 84. Marvin Mims at 83. Jordan Battle at 82. Byron Young at 81. Siaki Ika. You know what? I feel like this cat's too high for his own good, but I wouldn't mind taking a shot on him in the 3rd round. We got Tucker Craft at 79. I know a lot of people are going to be like, yo, you're so low on DJ Turner. Listen, it's a stacked corner class, but I got him at 78. 77 is Nick Herbig. Antonio Johnson, kind of a fall from him. I got him at 76. But a dude that he's shown he can break on the ball, but he's probably a slot or a box safety. Not a lot of value, not a lot of splash plays. Cody Mock, I think, is a developmental interior player, so I got him here at 75, 74. Carl Brooks didn't test out well, man. Can't have him that high. Dorian Williams, big fan. Love this dude's length. Love this dude's play. One of the better coverage linebackers in the draft. Devon A-Chain, speedster, speed demon. Plays bigger than his size. Check out the LSU game. I say it every time. Hendon Hooker here at 71. Feel however you want to feel about that. Garrett Williams at 70. If not for the ACL, I think he would firmly be a top 50 player. Clark Phillips here at 69. Nice. Keon White at 68. I really don't see him going to the first. Michael Wilson, 67. Tajay Spears, 66. 65, Sam Laporta. We got Luke Whippler, 64. Derek Hall, 63. Now we're getting into these second round guys. Zach Charbonnet, 62. Tanner McKee. Hey, listen, I'm going to be higher on Tanner McKee than the consensus. I really don't. I think outside of Mike Renner, no one. Oh, maybe even Nate Tice. No one's higher on McKee than I am. I just think he could be a good quarterback. Really do. Keely Ringo here at 60, the fall from grace. It's unfortunate. Cedric Tillman, 59. Joe Tippmann, 58. Toi Peloto. Listen, I really do think he ends up just being a base 4-3 guy. I don't think he no longer has that versatility when we thought he was 290. Sidney Brown, 56. Luke Musgrave, 55. John Michael Schmitz, 54. Good center here. Just, I don't think there's a ton of upside. I think he's just exceptionally solid. Julius Brents, 53. Drew Sanders, 52. We're going to start seeing the other linebackers clumped up here in a minute. Matthew Bergeron, 51. Firmly believe he is gone early to mid-second round, and then it's just a fall off at tackle. Isaiah Foskey, 50. Nathaniel Dell, Tank Dell. I absolutely love this dude. He's got the quick feet, man. At 49, I got Trenton Simpson, Dion Henley, 47 and 48. Jalen Hyatt at 46. I didn't think I'd be this high on him, but I kind of like him as a vertical slot guy. Jahmyr Gibbs, because y'all know me, I hate running backs. 45. Jack Campbell, 44. Darnell Washington, 43. So we see the other tight end here. There's only 2 tight ends I got first round grades on. Mozzie Smith, 42. Josh Downs, 41. Then Cam Smith, 40. We're going to start seeing a kind of a clump of cornerbacks here. Steve Avila, 39. Keanu Benton, 38. And then here's the other corners. Emmanuel Forbes, 37. I really don't think he goes in the first, though. It's just, you're really taking an outlier at 166, but I know this guy can play. But I just feel better about taking him in the second. Felix Anudike Uzama here at 36, 35. Tyreek Stevenson. Kalijah Cansey, 34. Again, you're really taking an outlier with the size and with the arm length and the height. Michael Mayer, 33. Jordan Addison, 32. Kind of wish wish he tested out better at the combine. I know he was going through back spasms. Probably would have tested faster at the USC Pro Day if it didn't get rained out. This feels low for him, but I think overall, a lot of people are low on the wide receiver class in general. DeJuan Jones, 31. Will McDonald, 33. And B.J. Ojulari, 39. I think these guys, one of them I think will go in the first. It's just since they're undersized pass rushers, it's hard to anticipate where they can go. Like, where will they be at the end of round one? Osiris Torrance, 28. Zay Flowers, 27. Dalton Kincaid, 26. Darnell Wright, 25, and everyone's got him a lot higher. It's starting. The hype train is wild right now. Brian Barazi, 24. Anton Harrison, 23. Brian Branch, 22. My boy, Adetamiwa Adebari here at 21. Man, I'm a big fan, man. I think like if you're gonna take a shot on an outlier, a guy that's a bit undersized for the interior, you're gonna take the guy who has freaking historical testing and 34-inch arms. Deontay Banks here at 20. Bijan at 19. Listen, this dude's a blue chip running back prospect. It's just how valuable is that in the NFL? Like if we're talking about who's the best prospect in this class, regardless of position, it's Bijan. It's Bijan. But it's just like how valuable is that in the NFL? Like in the NFL, how valuable is the running back position? Really? So I got him here at 19. Jackson Smith Njigba. Oh my gosh. Jackson Smith Njigba here at 18. Bryce Jones, 17. I have all these pass rushers. Basically, this is 14A, 14B, 14C. I got Miles Murphy, Lucas Van Ness, and Nolan Smith. They're all bunched up here. It's really pick your flavor. Joey Porter, 13. Quentin Johnston, 12. I love Quentin Johnston. He's my guy in this wide receiver class, I suppose. Tyree Wilson here at 11. Got Will Levis at 10. Peter Skoronski, listen, I don't care how you view him. This guy, if you think he's a guard, cool, all-pro guard. If you think he's a tackle, I think he can make it at tackle. Paris Johnson, though, for me, absolutely is the top tackle prospect in this class, though. I think he's got the highest upside, ridiculous length as well, 36 arms, experience on both sides. Basically, Christian Gonzalez, Devon Witherspoon, it's 1A, 1B. I like the size, I like the speed. I liked how he played this year. I love that mentality. Honestly, if you gave that mentality Gonzalez, we'd be talking about him like he was sauce. Jalen Carter here is at number 5. I decided to push the quarterbacks ahead of him. And this there's ain't no way I could push him down any further. But Anthony Richardson, number 4, quarterback value. If you hit big on the elite physical tools, that is Anthony Richardson, then you're hitting big. You're getting an elite quarterback. So that's why I got him here at 4. CJ Stroud, I still feel is a safer option, just because what we see right now in Stroud, it's like, yeah, I'm very comfortable that he could be a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. Will Anderson, I would say, is the best non-quarterback prospect in this class when you take into consideration positional value. The dude plays with juice, he plays bendy, and you know what? As the game goes on longer, he only grows stronger. If he was playing at 243 this past season, then he played much bigger than he is. Like, this dude has that dog in him. And then Bryce Young, I absolutely love this cat. If you want to go see me talk about how much I love Bryce Young, check any video on this channel. Go ahead, check out the quarterback rankings, check any mock draft, any mock the mock. I absolutely love Bryce Young. But that's it for the video. It's a little bit longer one, and I mainly focus on the guys outside the top 100 to really kind of talk about, and then just kind of ran through the top 100. But I figured that was probably better because I've kind of talked ad nauseum about the top 100 guys in this class. So I wanted y'all to maybe hear a little bit about some of the guys that maybe you don't hear about too often. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do your YouTube thing as always. Until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.